Oh boy. And you know what it is. We gotta wait for that good sound check. So hold on a second, make sure the sound's working. So hold, and there it is. Alright, so I'm going to be doing 2.6 at the time of me filming this. I haven't actually taught this lesson, but I'm going to tentatively tomorrow in real life. So I'm going to put this thing, I'm just going to put this thing on there, and people can see it early if they want. Not a big deal. I'm just going to get these 10 problems out of the way. Wait, 12 problems out of the way. I made it 12? Alright, I'm a genius. Go me. Alright, so this whole assignment is solving proportions, or equations that are proportion setup equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it's done. First I'm going to write this down. Here we go. So v over 9 equals 2 over 6. You know, I will mention while I'm doing this, 2 over 6 could be reduced, and I mean, you could reduce it and make, the problem have smaller numbers, which is maybe less difficult. But you don't have to do that, okay? The way you solve these proportion problems is you cross multiply. I'm not saying you have to cross multiply. There's other ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you cross multiplying way on this first one. So 9 times 2, 6 times v. So what happens is when you do 6 times v, you get 6v. And then you want to put equals the other cross multiplying result. 9 times 2 is 18. Then you solve from here, divide both sides by 6. V equals 3. That's it. Could you have done that with a little bit less steps? Yes. Yes, you could. And I'm going to show you on this one. I'm going to show you the exact same problem right here. Instead of just cross multiplying, I could just identify that v is on top here. And the way you get rid of v is by multiplying by 9, because that undoes the dividing by 9. And so what happens is you do v equals whatever the result of 2/6 of 9 is, right? And 2 times 9 is 18, and 18 over 6 is, still 3. So that's the answer again. So I'm just saying that's a possible way to do it. I prefer cross multiplying because when you have the situation where the variable is not on top, it works out. You pretty much need to cross multiply. So it's better to do what I did first here. But I'm saying the right way is possible sometimes, and it does save a little bit of work. Like on this one, see how W is on the top? So I could save the time, but I'll do the full cross multiplying here. Alright, so we got 8 over 12. And you get W over 9. And I can't help but notice I keep getting fractions that could have been reduced. I wonder if they're doing that for a reason. So we cross multiply. We do 9 times 8, that's 72. 12 times W, that's 12W. To get W by itself, we divide by 12, and the result is 6. Wow, that's a weird looking W. Okay, the result is 6. At least these problems are going by quick. 3 minutes in, we already did 2 problems. That's a good ratio. Is it a good ratio? Yeah, that means we'll get it done in under 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure we will. Alright, let's go faster. So u over 9, that's a terrible u. 5 over 7, hey look, a fraction that can't be reduced. Cross multiply, I get 7 times u, 7u. 9 times 5 is 45. Divide both sides by 7, and you get u equals 45/7. Now I'm going to tell you, I think this is the way you should write your answer. Okay, I would take a fraction any day of the week. However, the problem says round your answer to the nearest tenth, and you will have that on some of these. So I will round this to the nearest tenth by putting it into a calculator. This is 6.4. That's it, because it's 6.42, but the 2 rounds it down, so 6.4. So I disagree with how you'd answer it. I think 45 over 7 would have been a much better answer, but I'm not in charge of the problems, okay? That may happen on this one too. Who knows? By who knows, I mean me. I'm pretty sure it does. Alright, 11 over 3. Hey, look, for once the fraction is improper. It has a bigger number on top, over 4. So cross multiply. 4 times 11 is 44. 3 times x is 3x. Divide by 3 on both sides, and the answer, in my opinion, is 44/3. But I think they want to the nearest tenth again, so we're going to do that. 44/3. 14.6 repeating, so that's going to round to 14.7. if we're going by tenths. And there you go. Next problem. Sorry, I was trying to do that while it was loading. Another one. Okay, now this one's a little different. See, we got u plus 2 on the top of something. Now, you do have to be careful of this, and I'm going to write my work out carefully here. If anyone's worked with me in advance and is watching this video, they would know that I probably just went straight to the answer, like what you write on the next line. But I'm going to be a little bit slower. I'm going to write one extra line. So I cross multiply here, right? I got 8 times 7 and 6 times that top thing, right? Now here's the deal. When you do 8 times 7, you get 56. When you do 6 times that top thing, you're literally doing 6 times all of that top thing. You do not want to just make the accidental mistake of writing 6u plus 2. That would be wrong, because you do want to distribute that 6 to everything up there. So it really, 56 equals 6u plus 12. Now, in my opinion, you could probably just write 56 equals 6u plus 12 if you see you're going to do 6 times both of those things. But, you know, couldn't hurt to just write it out slow and be careful. So here I'm going to get 44 equals 6u. Dividing by 6. Now this one does not ask for a decimal. It does not say round to the nearest tenth. So the answer is, I'm going to write it up here, 44/6. However, I'm going to tell you that 44/6 can reduce to 22/3. And they will want you to write that. Now, if you are somebody who's not pro at reducing a fraction, I got great news for you. If you type 44/6 into Desmos, it spits out this decimal. Or if you click this little fraction button, it reduces the fraction for you, and that's totally fine. That's acceptable. If that's how you need to reduce the fraction, I'm totally okay with that. Just make sure you put over 3, not 4. Okay. I think the next problem's probably going to be the same thing. Yep, we got u minus 3 over 4. 5/3. Okay, we're going to cross this stuff. Alright, I'll cut to the chase this time. The 3 multiplies to u, 3u, and the 3 multiplies to that negative 3, minus 9. And then 4 times 5 makes this equal 20. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. You're going to get 3u equals 29. Divide by 3, and you get 29/3. That's the answer. You can't reduce 29/3. But if you were unsure, I guess you could put it in a calculator and check. And if it doesn't say, if it says 20, if you play, well, I got to show you, because somebody did have a problem with this earlier. 29/3, and then if you click this and it says 29/3 again, then that was it. That was as far as it could have gone. You don't need to do any further checking, you know? Hooray. Alright, this one's another one of the same, sort of, except for the x is on the bottom, which really doesn't change it up too much. It does have a secondary issue, though. There's a second x on the bottom left. So we got negative 6 over x. We got negative 14 over x minus 4. You still want to do the normal stuff, so we cross multiply. I drew the arrow going up to the 6. However, you could think of the 6 going down to the right. So I'm going to write negative 6 times all this stuff. I'm going to write the extra step out again. And then on the other one, I'm going to write negative 14x. You'll notice the negative sign is up here with the 14, and I use that with the x. I don't know about you in the future, but there could be possibly a fraction that doesn't specifically show the negative on top. Maybe it just shows it in front. If a fraction you see has a negative in front of it, please treat it like it's with the top. That will make life so much easier for you. I don't think Alex is doing that to us here, but I'm just saying if you see it, how to react. So you get negative 6x plus 24. Equals negative 14x. Now, normally I'd say add 14x to both sides because I want to get rid of the biggest negative, but here I'm going to add 6x. The reason why is because I know that'll leave me with just a number on the left, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to get 24 equals negative 8x. I'm going to divide by negative 8, and 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. There you go. That's the solution. Could you graph this on Desmos? The classic answer. You know, could I graph this on Desmos? I don't know. Let me find out. Negative 6 over x equals negative 14 over x minus 4. Oh, same issue as before. It won't let me click to see the solution, but I can visually see it. I don't know what's up with that, but whatever. Okay, I'm not saying that's the way you should solve your problems, but if you watched me do it just now, I guess I did. Okay, the rest of these are going to be word problems, or problems that have a picture involved with it. Because you're probably going to see these. When it comes to solving proportions, this is what they give you. It says Alan runs 6 miles in 55 minutes. At that same rate, how many miles would he run in 44 minutes? So you have to think of it this way. This many miles for this many minutes. How many miles for that many minutes? So you set up a proportion. 6 miles can be done in 55 minutes. How many miles, I don't know, can be done in 44 minutes? Then you solve it. So you cross multiply. 55x is one of them. 44 times 6. 264. Sure it is. It is if you want it to be. Divide by 55 on both sides. That I cannot say. It is probably a decimal though. So 264 over 55. Now on this problem we're getting a decimal. Should you put a fraction? Now here's my issue with that. It says how many miles can you run in that much time? I feel like nobody would in their life would say I can run 24/5 of a mile. You'd probably rather say I can run 4.8 miles. So I think on these ones, I mean I've already entered this with people earlier, so I can confirm decimals will work and decimals should be the thing you answer. Just makes sense on these kinds of problems, I guess. Okay, another one. Somebody drove 420 miles using 18 gallons of gas. How many miles of gas would they need to drive 357? So I'll set it up the same way. You can go, and you know what? As a student, you might do this. You might say 420 miles is for 18 gallons of gas. Then you have to be careful. I put the miles on top. They said 357 miles. So I'm going to make sure I write 357 on the top here over x, because I don't know how many gallons it was with that. Now you could set the whole problem upside down. If you do 18 over 420 and x over 357, you'll get the same results. I just did not do that. So this is 420x equals whatever 18 times 357 is. I ain't about to find out. 18 times 357, 6,426. 6,426. And then we're going to divide by 420. Okay, 15.3 is the decimal. And now make sure your answer makes sense. For example, 18 gallons of gas gets you 420. If you're going 357, you're probably going to use less gas. So at least do a small favor to yourself and confirm that it makes sense. If I'm going less miles, I used less gallons. Yes, I did. So that makes sense to me. That's probably like a little mental check you can do just to make sure you're right. Alright, in a scale drawing of an airplane, 1 inch represents 8 feet. The wingspan of the real plane is 72 feet. So what's the wingspan of the plane in the drawing? Sorry, I had to itch my nose. Oh, it's so itchy. Okay, so I'm going to do this. You always want to use this scale here. So 1 inch is to 8 feet. Now, I notice I'm not writing the labels on it, so you have to make sure you keep that in your mind. We want to know how many inches are on the scale drawing if the real plane is 72 feet. So inches is to feet. I don't know how many inches is to 72 feet. Now, you got to be careful here. See, my thinking is this. On this particular type of problem, I guess I could cross multiply solve it, and this will work, but I would rather use this kind of good logic. How do I turn 8 into 72? You multiply it by 9, right? So if I were to do 1 times 9, that logically would give me the other top number, and 1 times 9 is 9, so, I'm going to say 9. I'm going to use that same thinking on the second part of the problem here. It says the length of the airplane is 6 inches. That's the scale drawing, right? So I'm going to use this again. 1 inch is to 8 feet. On the scale drawing, 6 inches is to how many feet on the real airplane? So I'll use this logic. How do I turn 1 into 6? Times 6? Well, if I did... Man, I'm hitting that button so much. If I did 8 times 6, what would I get? I'd get 48. Doop. Okay. Another scale drawing. So in this scale, the height of the television is 6 centimeters. what is the height of the real television? I guess I can do that mentally here. So 1 centimeter is to 5, right? So how do I turn 1 centimeter into 6? I multiply it by 6. So in real life, 5 times 6 would be the height, which is 30. Not 320. Okay, the real length of the television is 40 inches. What is the length of the scale model? Well, how do I turn 5 into 40? That's 8 times 8, right? So 1 times 8 would give me the scale model's sizing equivalent there. I don't really have to write it down. It might have been worth writing down. I got too lazy. I ain't going to lie to you. All right, it says, in a scale drawing, the apartment shown below, 3 centimeters represents 4 meters. And then it says, find the area of the real bedroom. So the living room's kind of like inconsequential or whatnot. So we don't need to talk about the living room. So here's what we're going to do. The bedroom. So you'll notice the bedroom is 6 and 9. So 3 is to 4, right? So 6 is to what? So times 2 times 2, this must be 8. So this 6 centimeters right here represents 8 meters of the real bedroom, right? And then I would do the scaling again. 3 is to 4, as 9 is to what? And then same thing. How do you turn 3 into 9? Times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So the scale drawing says 6 centimeters by 9 centimeters, but based on the scaling, that's really 8 meters by 12 meters. So it says, what's the area? Well, the area would therefore be the base times the height, 8 times 12, which is 96 meters squared. Although they gave us the units, how kind of them. So I just need to type in the 96. There you go, 2.6. Woo! So just to run through the process here, there was a lot of stuff we did cross-multiplying on. We did it on the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one that got a little spicier. No, it didn't. It was still not spicy. Okay, 5 is when it was spiced up? Okay, yeah, it added some addition in the top. We had to make sure we did the distributive property. Then we had U and X and stuff on the bottom. There we go. That was still cross-multiplying, still same process. Then we had to set up our problems. We said, if 6 is to 55, how much is to 44? Like, we had to make sure we set up the right proportion. And this 8 through 12 stuff, that's how they really get you on tests. That's what they want you to know how to do. Not just get a problem and solve it. They want you to know how to set up a problem and solve it. So be very careful about those. Okay? I don't want to run through the rest because I think, you probably just saw them 3 seconds ago, right? All right, quick and easy. And that's it. And I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next one.